Whew, guys, what is up? Today this is gonna be the team analysis versus the VCU Reshirams. And as you can see on the screen, I already played him and I lost 3-0 because I was a terrible player at that point in time. Luckily I did do some laddering on the OU ladder. I did quite well actually. I think I ended up with 7 losses and like 50 wins or something. Reaching like the 1650s ish. Didn't ladder up since then, I didn't lose too much. Yeah, so I lost my wrist, meaning that hopefully I will be able to take on the VCU Reshirams this time out without screwing it up again like last time, because that was terrible and I'm still ashamed of that. But again, I'm gonna go over his team because he did make a few changes which kind of are important, so I cannot use the same team as I did last time, although it is kind of similar. Yeah, but I'll come down to that in a bit. His potential mons that he can bring and make a team of are Lenders, Suicune, Celebi, Crobat, Mega Diancie, Meloetta, Turrican, Escavalier, Mienshao, Valplume, and Electabuzz. Basically, what I expect him to bring is Suicune, Crobat, Mega Diancie, Meloetta guaranteed, because Suicune is very bulky and it takes on stuff like Mega Scissor. Skarmory, it's just a nice switch into even something like Hexer, which is very physically offensive. It is a check too, just because of its sheer bulk. And like a Raichu, it doesn't do anything with the T-Bolt, unless it's like Choice Specs. So I do think that Suicune is one of his bulky mons that he will rely on, because he has done that in the past. Crobat is a great defogger, so I do think he's going to use that. Also, it's a nice switch into Venusaur because Venusaur cannot touch it, especially if he runs like safety goggles like Lars did in his previous TBA match. If you haven't seen that, then check that out, of course. And Crobat in general is a little bit of a problem because he can run a mixed set with like Giga Drain for Rhyperior and stuff like Sludge Bomb, Heat Wave for Scissor and for the Skarmory, stuff like that. Nest Plot potentially. Or he can do like the same that he did last time, because he is a pretty standard player. He doesn't usually use innovative sets. He did it once against the Toronto Tartaras this season. Everything else that he did, pretty standard shit. And yeah, hopefully that's a weakness of his, but he can use it to his favor, making me expect things that he doesn't bring, and he brings the potentially better sets. However, he knows what I think of his draft, and that is going to be the biggest problem this time for me for team building, because this team I built today, well, I didn't build today, I built like a week ago, so hopefully I do remember everything I want to say about it. If not, then I will edit in certain stuffs about it. You'll see on the screen if that happens. So anyway, he has like I said, I talked about this team in a previous upload of mine. And he knows what I fear, so he knows that I fear a mixed Crobat or a Nestbot Crobat. He knows I fear Celebi, he knows I fear Meloetta, he knows I fear Druddigon even, Pursuit Escavalier, he knows I fear every single one of these. Meaning that he can potentially bring every single one of these, knowing that they actually can put in work, which he might have not expected them to do. Even though I will run a little bit of a different set on certain months, I do think they are still definitely capable of dealing with my team and crippling my mons. Yeah. Anyway, the monster that I expect to bring, like I said, Suicune, Crobat, and Mega Diancie. Mega Diancie because it's a problem. It has Magic Bounce, it's annoying, it's fast, and it's strong. I do have a counter, I do have Skarmory. However, Mega Diancie usually, especially in a league format, will maybe predict switches in stuff like Skarmory and go for him about fires, electrics, or everything like that. And he just has the capability of destroying my cores and the rest of my team because of his offensive capabilities and even defensive stats. Meloetta, he used it last time as well to just destroy my core, and he can do it the same way this time because Meloetta is a problem. It's very strong and it gets the coverage that he needs it to. Hopefully it's not going to be a Calm Mind Meloetta, because that's one thing I'm really afraid of. Yeah, if he doesn't run Meloetta with Calm Mind, then I am good. Next up, the mons I'd expect to bring Electabuzz, and mainly Electabuzz because that is his best way to do what Manaphy, I want to say. because Menifee is kind of a problem. I mean, it's not really a problem, but usually you want to have something offensive that can take on like a bulky water type like Menifee, because Menifee is usually very centralizing for my opponents to prepare for. So that's why I think Electrum is going to be a thing, and I'm gonna expect Transpex or something. I think that's going to be the best set. Maybe Life Orb, maybe Evilite. Don't think it's going to be Scarfed. It could be though, because 1 of 5 is a great speed due to be Scarfer. But if he does bring it, he might not bring it. If he does bring it, then I do think it's going to be Specs with extra sensory for my this guy, and like in a Power Grass or something for the Raptor. And the T-Ball says Full Switch. That is kind of the set I predict him to have. If he brings it, he could not. 2 other monsters are potentially going to be things, Dirty Gun and Landorus. Both of them are for Stealth Rock's sake. He already knows that I didn't fear Landorus as much, and if you watch the match I had versus him last time, there is a reason why I don't fear that much, because I do have checks, and even more than I had back then, because I have Throw and I have Miss Mages now, so those 2 are good checks as well. That's why I think Dirty Gun is going to be the more likely mob for him to bring. And potentially an offensive Dirty Gun with like Poison, Gunk Set, Fire, Move, Outrage, you know, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I expect him to bring, but knowing Pierre, he can definitely bring Landers instead and just do the same kind of shenanigans that he did back then, just setting up Stealth Rocks and, you know, stuff like that. Some weaknesses I found on his team, some notes I have on his team, compared to my team. It's from my perspective, so not a team analysis on his team, but just from my perspective, what I think I can use against him. And that's basically, he only has 1 electric immunity, and that electric immunity is weak to ice quite with like a ×4 weakness. That's gonna be a Landorus, so meaning that my Raichu was gonna be a thing this game. He does have some resists and some bulky monsters that can take on Raichu, especially since Raichu is not the strongest. But I keep monsters in check and I can get momentum with Raichu. Stealth Rocks are his only hazard for him, so I don't think I definitely need to run a Defogger this time, because as you can see, my team isn't that weak to Stealth Rocks. The only weakness I have is Murkrow, and I guess Breaking Sashes and Stealth Rocks, and Sturdies and such. But I am not very weak to it, and that's why I don't think I need a Defogger per se. He has trouble switching into Knockoff, and that's gonna be a very big role in my preparation. You will see that in a bit. But he likes switching to the combination of stab moves with, for example, Venusaur and Knockoff, and more mounts actually. So if you can see that right here, then it will be clear to you, because he needs the power from Landorus Life Orb. He needs Crobat to have its item probably. He needs Meloetta. I mean, it doesn't switch to Knockoffs. Dirty Gun probably needs its item if it's Life Orb. If it's Rocky Helmet, then it might not need its item that much, but it's still good to get knocked off. Escavalier needs its Assault Vest or its potential Choice Band. I do think Assault Vest is the only set he will run versus me though. Mienzo needs its Scarf, that's a resist, but it needs its Scarf, or a Life Orb, whatever he brings, but he needs an offensive item. Foul Plum is not gonna happen for me. Look at my team, and Foul Plum is the only thing on this team that I really don't expect. Everything else has a potential of being brought to the game. Stuff like Celebi, I still fear it a big time. Yeah, I still fear it big time, just like I said in my previous video, but I do think he's gonna choose Meloetta over Celebi again, because Celebi is quite weak to Bug, so that's why I think Meloetta is gonna be the preferred option on his end, but potentially Celebi this time around instead of Meloetta maybe. But yeah, Foul Plum is not the thing I fear, so I don't think that's gonna be a thing. Yeah. That's just the mon that I think does the least to me. Even though it can be useful, I do think that's gonna be the least useful mon on his team to have him put in the work, because it does just the same roles as some other mons on his team, mainly. Let's see, anything else I want to add before I go to my team? Yeah, okay, good, let's go to my team. My team, like I said, this is gonna be kind of similar to the team I brought last time. I do have some switches, because I do have a Raichu now and I have a Scissor now, but it's kind of similar, and I'm gonna explain to you why I had a little trouble team building this team. Well, I already mentioned it a little bit. He knows what I think of his draft and what I fear and what I don't fear, and he can use it against me. And that's gonna be a problem, because that causes me to make a lot of mind games, because I already revealed all the options that he has for me that are good versus me. So it's gonna be really tough to play first step, because he can definitely just bring standard shit again and put me on a back foot, because I expect him to have the good stuff, at least the good stuff, you know. But I ended up with this team, and it's again a very standard court of Venusaur and Skarmory. I'll come down to Skarmory in a bit. I'm not gonna go in the same order that I have here, because this is a tactical order, I want to say. I mean, team matchup, it can sometimes put you in a little bit of a good position if I force him to lead off with a mon that, if he predicts with Venusaur to lead off, then I can get momentum by leading off with something that counters his counter, and that's gonna be maybe a thing today, tomorrow for me, today for you, or tomorrow for you maybe as well. However, I'm gonna just go over the team because I'm starting to ramble. Venusaur, Mega Venusaur, very standard, Giga Drain, Synthesis, Roar, and Knockoff. I still am considering running Sleep Powder over Roar, but we'll see about that. Very simple. It's very physically defensive, a little bit of special defense, a little bit more than last time. The physical defense is there because it is my counter actually to multiple mons on his team, mainly versus Suicune. It's a counter. It's a counter versus the Druddigon, versus the Escavalier, versus the Mienshao, and versus the Electabuzz. So it has a lot of roles. Well, it has one role, but it has a lot of mons that it has to keep in check. I do have some kind of backup checks on my team for some of the mons, but Venusaur might definitely be the mon that is going to be my switch into a lot. And that is why I want to have Synthesis, because the longevity is going to be very crucial. Giga Drain is of course for longevity's sake as well, and also because Suicune, and I don't want to have Calm Mind sweep me, even though I should potentially, matchup wise, at least typing wise, I should win with Venusaur versus it can still beat me. That's pretty crazy, but yeah, that's gonna be the thing, yeah. Oh, that's not the thing I want to do. It's Knockoff, because Knockoff is very crucial for his switch-ins to Giga Drains, because his Giga Drain switch-ins are Crobat, which I like to knock outside him off. It's Celebi, which is also a little bit weak to knock off. It doesn't take too much from it, but it's nice to get it knocked off and just see what kind of set it is. Meloetta, weak to knock off. Druddigon, I'd like to get knocked off very early on. Escavalier also appreciates getting knocked off, at least in my favor, of course, in his favor it doesn't. And Vileplume, like I said, I really don't expect him to bring Vileplume. I'm considering running Sleep Powder over Roar. I do still have Roar because I had it last time as well, and because Roar is a guaranteed counter / check to Suicune. Even though I don't think we'll run the Calm Mind Crocoon set, this is going to be the preferred option for now. I might change it to just put some stuff to sleep on his team, mainly the Crobat if it is not the safety goggles, and if it is, then I hopefully can knock it off before putting it to sleep, or trying to put it to sleep at least. And also Escavalier has the overcoat ability, so it doesn't get affected by sleep move. So if he brings the Escavalier this time around, which I do think he will, honestly I do, yeah, that's why I have Roar for now. So I might still change that, but Sleep Powder is very useful because Escavalier doesn't win versus me 1v1, especially if it is knocked off. Well, it might win versus me 1v1 because the Synthesis can be beast on me. However, I still have Skarmory. However, yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna say. I'm just gonna continue that right there. Next up is Raichu, and Raichu is gonna be an Assault Vest Raichu with Lightning Roar, because this is gonna be the switch-in, potentially the best switch-in I have to Electabuzz to stop it from like volt switching around and stuff. And even though I'm probably gonna predict to go for like an extra sensory if he's gonna run it, because my switch-ins to this on my team are, because I don't have Repeller, are gonna be weak. Well, not weak, but are going to be more affected by the extra sensory than the electric move. So I might predict him to do that, but if I make a misprediction, or like misprediction not necessarily, because this is going to be my switch into extra sensory as well. But if I make a prediction and it works out in my favor, he goes for full switch for example, then Raichu is going to be the best mon, and if he goes for the extra sensory, it's not going to be the worst case scenario possible, because I am expecting him to take it. I beat Electabuzz because of knockoff, so that's why I'm carrying knockoff again. I can knock it off. It's a Violite, which is more likely not a good thing, but it's Choice Specs or it's Choice Scarf or something, it's gonna be knocked off more than likely. Volt Switch, I hit a Power Ice, there for momentum, and the Landorus, very simple, very easy. And the T-Bolt is there to just keep hitting mons on his side of the team without me needing to switch out. Yeah, I could have ran Signal Beam because he does have a few mons that are weak to it, but I decided against it. I might regret that, but I have Signal Beam on something else on the team that is going to be Alakazam, by the way. But and I think that my way of dealing with that is going to be fault switching into Alakazam. I think that's going to be like how I'm going to try to play it, maybe. I don't want to have like be over centralizing the Celebi, and that's why I don't want to run too many Signal Beams or whatever. And yeah, I think the T-Bolt is the better one because I just can spam T-Bolt against something like Suicune and Crobat and stuff. It just weakens shit very slowly, and maybe he predicts the Signal Beam and he goes into something like Escavalier and it hit it for more damage than he expects it to. So yeah. I'm gonna go to Skarmory first because the Scissor and Manaphy are the last 2 months that I made, and I'm gonna come down to it in a bit. Skarmory, originally I had a Sword Stance instead of Stealth Rock Skarmory, but I only have two Stealth Rockers on the team, and the other one is going to be Rhyperior, and Rhyperior is not going to be the best mon. Although I did consider it, I wanted to run a Metal Burst set because I could Metal Burst like Scald from Suicune and just KO it straight up, or Celebi, Meloetta, stuff like that. They could just clean knock them out. But I decided against it because I do want to rely on this strategy I have right now more. A little bit of spoiler, if this is gonna be the finals, then it's not a spoiler. Maybe it is a spoiler, I don't know. But I'm running Metal Burst versus Metal. At least for now, I have not completely finished the team yet. However, damn it, I keep losing track of my thoughts. Oh yeah, Skarmory, it's gonna be Stealth Rocks because this is the mon that the only other mon on the team that gets Stealth Rocks, and the one has Stealth Rocks up because I want to force Crobat to defog, if he has the defog, of course, and I want to have this chip damage and everything on his team. And this also just sets up because his Mega DNC is weak to the Arrowhead, which I have on the team. It's a very standard set. I think it's the exact same set I had last time. Max Spadef because that checks his mons. They do like 55% and with the leftovers I can just heal it off and yeah, boost and shit. Ironhead there specifically for the Mega DNC to scare it out and beat it because last time he ran Protect, which I didn't predict him to do in the team matchup. But I think he will do it right now again because he is a very safe player and he does want to have to Protect, very likely. He's not gonna go with Rock Polish, I don't think. If he does, then hopefully I'm not oddly surprised and getting swept by it, but I do think I can just deal with it with Skarmory. However, oh yeah, Roost and Toxic. Roost for longevity because this is my core with Venusaur and it checks a lot of mons on Steam. Landorus, it checks Celebi. It depends on the set a little bit, of course, but it's decent check to Celebi maybe. Probably not actually, but we'll see. It's a check to Crobat, even if he's like non-nest, but it doesn't really check. But if it's mixed offensive with just Heat Wave, it might be able to deal with it decently. Don't think it will actually, because you will more likely carry Taunt or Roost. But if he's a very standard Crobat, then I check it with Skarmory. Mega DNC, like I said, it's a counter, slash check, depend. It's a counter actually to Mega DNC. Meloetta, if he's not Calm Mind, if he's not like Life Rock or very offensive, then I deal with it. Dirty Gun, it should be a counter to Dirty Gun, check slash counter. Escavalier, it shouldn't be able to touch me, it gets knock off, it's the best thing it has for me, I think. Mienshao, it does a lot of damage actually, so it's not a check to that, not a counter to that. Vileplume, not gonna bring Vileplume. Electabuzz is gonna be a problem, of course, for Skarmory, because Electric versus Flying is gonna be something he's gonna win. If it's 1v1, that is, of course. But yeah, Stealth Rocks, Ironhead, Roost, and Toxic. Toxic is there for being able to just beat things. Like Meloetta, like Celebi, even though it gets mentioned, of course. I will be able to beat them because I can boost off the damage that he does to me. Unless it's like a setup or substitute sets, which will be a problem. But yeah, he'll have to prove himself by running substitute on those ones before he can beat me with them. Next up is going to be Alakazam. Alakazam is going to be a very standard focuses Alakazam. Last game, I debated running Choice Scarred Alakazam, and in hindsight, I think I should have. Decided against it back then, and I figured, okay, I should probably do it right now then, because I'm going to regret it if I don't. Because last time it was the matchup, I KO'd something with Alakazam, he switched in Crobat straight after to debug away the rocks. And I expected him to like Brave with me to break the focus edge, but he didn't. And if it was choice card, it would have just knocked out Crobit straight away. So that was gonna be it, and yeah, that was annoying. Basically, that's the point I'm trying to make across. But this time I decided against it as well, because I still fear the Escavalier so much, and he can just pursuit trap me and I die, and that's not the thing I want to have happen. And yeah, Hidden Power Fire is a 2-hit KO on the Escavalier though, so I'm able to 2-hit KO it if it comes down to that. So I don't die to it because I have the Focus Edge. And yeah, if he does bring Escavalier, which I do think he will, I'm terrified of it. At least my Alakazam is terrified of it. The rest of the team doesn't really care with it that much. But he will only need it for Alakazam anyway, so yeah. However, T-Wave is for T-Wave's sake, for the yellow magics and slowing down shit. Psychic is there, and the Signal Beam is there for Celebi and Meloetta, and the Psychic is there for the stab and for stuff like Nyan, so it's not too as cold. Crobit, if it's somehow slower, maybe it's there to hit Outlanders for good damage unless it's Calm Mind, which would be kind of a problem. Vileplume, Electabuzz, it's just a nice stab to hit up stuff with, so yeah. With the combination of Psychic and Signal Beam, are kind of breaking his team nicely, especially with the Hidden Power Fire as well for the Escavalier. A very standard-ish set because it is enough speed to outspeed the Diancie. That's after his Crobat, the next fastest one, so yeah. Anything else? Max Fish Attack, very standard. Focus Edge, Timid. I couldn't run Modest because if I run Modest Max, I would speed type with base 105s, and that's not the thing I want, so I decided against this set, to go with this set, because I want to guaranteed outspeed them, unless they are choice card, which is going to be likely, because he did run that last time as well, on the Nianzhou, so yeah. No, next up, Manaphy and Scissor. Let's go with Scissor first. Scissor is a very standard Scissor, I want to say, because this is my standard Scissor. Again, I am not terrified of Hidden Power Fires, but I think that he's gonna run Hidden Power Fires. On shit like Meloetta, Hidden Power Fire would be definitely good. Mega Diancie, Hidden Power Fire is almost necessary now, because otherwise this is gonna be a counter and switch in every single time. And yeah, that's why Hidden Power Fire is almost guaranteed gonna be a thing. And this is gonna be a Swords Dancing set with Bug Bite and Bullet Punch. 2 stabs. Bullet Punch is there for the Mega Diancie mainly. And also just because it's a very nice stab and it deals with this team very, very nicely. The Bug Bite is there to hit up everything on his team, and the main thing that I think he's gonna use for this is gonna be Suicune. And last time he used a Rest to Chesto set, and if I manage to Bug Bite away the Chesto, if he's running the same set again, which I think he will actually, because that is almost the thing that he runs every single week. And he kind of needs the 4 move slot, so he cannot necessarily run the Sleep Talk. Yeah, I think Bug Biting away is going to be very nice, and it might catch his Suicune off guard by resting up and not getting the Chesto Berry and giving me free setup and shit. It's also just quite effective to stuff like Celebi, super effective against Meloetta. It does good damage to Vileplume, Electabuzz, shit like that, you know, very, very standard set. The speed is there to outspeed. I don't quite remember actually. I think Celebi if it's no speed investment, maybe Suicune if it's no speed investment, probably. Oh, that's Twitter. Yeah, probably Suicune. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think that, yeah, that looks like Suicune. So this is for Suicune with a little bit of investment. The rest is a special defense investment, because most of his team that can touch me for good damage is going to be especially attacking like Electabuzz, like his Hidden Power Fire users. So that is why I'm running the more little bit of special defense investment. And the Facade, because he has Scald on Suicune, and Suicune is likely gonna get a burn because Scald is guaranteed burn chance. Also, if he does somehow bring Vileplume, I might get the paralysis, burn, sleep. I don't know what can I get. Can I get burn? No, I don't think I can get burned. However, Facade is the filler move. I think maybe a roosting might be a thing that I could do, but yeah, I went with Facade, so yeah. We'll see if that comes into play, and that's a good choice. Maybe it isn't, but I don't think I'm gonna need to use it unless I get Skull Band. And last but not least is Manaphy. And Manaphy, this is a set that I had to think, well, it's a very easy set to think of, but it took me a while to think of it. It is dual screen Manaphy. and it's U-turn, reflect, light screen, heal bell. Heal bell is there because his team has a few mons that can cripple me by statusing and shit. Not too much because looking at his team, he mainly has like attackers, but he can cripple me, and I do want a heal bell to deal with his crippling, because I do need like a skull switch in, and that's gonna be finisher, and I do not want to have it burn throughout the whole game, and yeah, you name it. The reflect and light screen are there to help my walls, and that's gonna be really crucial because, like I said, his mons aren't that threatening. I mean, they are threatening, definitely, and they can break my core, and that's the problem. They need to make the plays, they need to make the predictions to break my core, but he did it last time, so yeah, I'm pretty sure he can do it again this time. And that's why I want to have reflect and light screen to make my switchings easier and stuff, and also make my setup for scissor easier, make my Raichu make that more useful, and yeah, I mean, that's that easy as it's gonna go. It doesn't do much for Alakazam though, but I might be able to like live multiple hits, mainly the special side of course, but and don't need to rely on focus sashes and shit, who knows. I don't know how that's gonna play out yet, but yeah, it's gonna be a dual screens Menifee, and this is gonna be pretty useful because of the dual screens itself and the heal bell, but also for momentum, because this is one of my mons that gets momentum on the team together with Scissor. And usually Menifee forces people to prepare like counters, because Menifee is usually like a Tail Glow set or a Calm Mind set, and that's very centralizing for my opponent. Meaning that U-turn is going to be very great, and it hits stuff like Meloetta, it hits stuff like Celebi, and that's all I need. I want those to weaken because those are problems to my team. And yeah, I think that's going to be pretty useful to get the momentum and have them switch into potentially, like if he switches in Celebi on me, I can just go into Alakazam and threaten everything on his team out with like the Sickle Beam. And if he switches in something that is weak to Psychic, then I can pop it to the Psychic and he doesn't have switch-ins, because my team can easily break his team as well. So that's why this set is the thing I came up with, and I am really happy that I did see that this set was the most like the best set I could potentially get from everything, because I tried so many different sets on Scissor and on Menifee, because like I said, I had so much issues with his team, because he knows what I'm fearing. So, and he also knows what I brought last time, so I know that it caused a lot of mind games for me. I don't think it's gonna be causing us a lot of as much of a mind games for him as it did for me, because I usually probably take more time in my team building. But I just spent like 6 hours just having like 4 months on my team and not being able to come with Menifee and Scissor sets. And I did want these two because they work the best with my team synergy, my typing synergy, forcing him to make predictions and not just being able to spam like one move versus me. So this is gonna be the Menifee set, and hopefully I don't fuck it up. Like I said, if I do remind myself of something that I wanted to say in this video, then I will edit it in somewhere. I will like have like a notification pop up. So yeah, but for now, check out Pierre's links in the description. Also, let me know what you think of the team, how I built it, and if you would have done something differently, or if you think I overlooked something. And yeah, leave a like if you did enjoy it, of course, and definitely let me know if you think that I'm gonna win this matchup this time around, because it is versus Pierre. I lost the first time, and I am ready to redeem my chance of beating him this time. So let me know what you think, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow when I will bring you the game. I think tomorrow. Yeah, it depends on when this is gonna come out. But see you for now, and have a nice day.